Welcome back. In this step, we're going to set up that event that happens. So as we escape the ship, we're going to run down off the cliff, and then in the background, that ship's going to explode. So there's a few different bits that we need to set up to get that working. And we'll start with importing another version of the ship mesh that's going to represent like the one that's exploded. So it's like a ruined husk of a ship. So what we'll do then, let's go into our content drawer, and we're going to go to the fab folder and drop ship R35. And there is the original ship, and we're going to import another version that I've created that is just a bit crushed. So let's just go import. And in the course resources folder, we're going to go to chapter 7, and there's dropship R351_damaged. So let's open that one up. There should be nothing that I need to change on the import settings, but I'm just going to make sure that it's not importing materials. It's not. And it's not importing textures. It's not. So we'll click on import. So if we open that up to have a quick look at it, here it is. So it's exactly the same ship, but I've just smushed it around a little bit. So that means that it'll look like it's been damaged. We need to change the material though to make that look more like it's been burnt out. So let's just save that for now. We've got a material slot here. And what we're going to do is duplicate this material. So I'm just going to right click on here, and there's duplicate, and it's a material instance. So I'm just going to call this damaged. And then we'll open this up, and we're going to change a few settings. Everything that we need to change is already in this material instance. Here where it says base color factor, that's already turned on. What I'm going to do is just make that black. And you'll see that makes the whole thing, it's taken all the color out of it. Mostly. We've got these bits here that are emissive, and we'll get rid of those as well. To get rid of emissive, we'll just turn the emissive factor off. There we go. So now it all looks kind of burnt out. And then the final thing I'm going to do is just scroll down a little bit to where it says metallic roughness. We'll turn the roughness factor on. I'm going to make this rougher. So I'm just going to turn that up to 2 so it won't be as shiny. So the only bit that will be a bit weird is where there is glass, which is, we've got like a bit there. But we won't be able to see that, so I'm actually going to leave that alone. So let's just save those changes. Okay, that's saved, so I'm going to close that material and then just assign it here. And then you can see the difference. That's now all burnt out and horrible. Brilliant. So let's save that. And I can close that as well. Okay, to get this to work then, if we go and have a look at the ship here. This is a static mesh. What we're going to do to get this to work is we're actually going to change that for a blueprint. And in that blueprint, we're going to have the undamaged ship and the damaged ship. And when we trigger it, we're going to switch the meshes. So let's get that set up. So I'm now going to go into my blueprints folder and create a new blueprint. So blueprint class, and it's going to be an actor. And I'm going to call this one BP_crashed ship. Like that. And then we'll open it up. Okay, so there's nothing in here at the moment. We're going to add in the components a static mesh. And I'm just going to name it ship. And then over here in the details panel, we're going to load in that drop ship. So the undamaged one for now. So there it is. And then I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit like that. I'm not going to make any changes to the scale or to the position of it because I want it to just be a straight replacement for what's already there. So I want to leave everything at default. We're also going to need this to be on fire, so we're going to add in some particles. So if we go add here and start typing cascade particle system, and the fire that we've already got uses this cascade particle system. So that's what we're going to use. And we'll just call this one fire. And then over here in the template, we will load in that fire. And there you go, you see we've got one there. So if I just center my view on that, zoom out a little bit, and I'm just going to put this one so that it's inside. We don't want it to look inviting. We don't want the player to be able to go back in here. So we'll definitely put a fire inside. So the way I've got this set up here, which is quite important, is this fire is a child of the ship, which is its parent. So if I use this little arrow here, you can see that it disappears when I close that group, when I collapse it. And that's good because it means that when we change the visibility of the ship, it means whatever we do to the parent will happen to the children as well, or it will with the way that we set it up. So that's quite important. So the ship needs to be the parent. Then what I'm going to do is just duplicate this. So I'll right click and go to duplicate. You can see the keyboard shortcuts Control and D. So I've now got 2 fires. I'm just going to leave that called fire 1, and then we'll stick some fire on top as well so that this looks like it's really not good. Okay, so I'll have that one there. I'll do Control and D again. Let's get another one on the go. So I'm also going to put one over here on the other side, maybe a bit further back. We don't want it to be too symmetrical. Let's duplicate again. Put one on top. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe bring this one forward a bit so we can see it. And then I want 5 in total, so we'll do one more for luck. And I'm just going to put that one over here. Move that one up a little bit. Excellent. So that ship now looks like it's on fire. Okay, so that's the first ship set up. Now what we need to do is create another one within the same blueprint, and then we're going to use that to swap the mesh. So what I'm actually going to do is get this ship here, and I'm going to duplicate that, Control and D. And you'll see we've got something called ship 1. I'm going to call it ship damaged, like that. Now that I've duplicated it, I'm going to change the static mesh from dropship to dropship damaged, and you can see they're both now visible. And I'm also going to change the material to the damaged material as well. Well, I think that actually happened by default, didn't it? I missed that. So they're now both set up perfectly. What I also want to do is duplicate one of the fires. So I'll get this one here, Control and D. That now becomes fire 5. But what I'm going to do is just scroll down and drag that on top of the ship damaged. And now damaged ship is going to be the parent of that one, which is great. And what I'm now going to do is for the ship and all of the original fires, we're just going to turn the visibility off while we work on the damaged ship. So I've just typed visibility up here, and we'll just turn that visibility off. And that just leaves us with this one and this one. So now let's make it so this fire is visible, which it is. We'll actually just move that down a bit. And then I'll create some copies of this as well. So I'm just going to have a few copies of that. So we'll put one over here. Add another one. And as long as it's just kind of embedded in the mesh, it should look like it's on fire. That looks good. And we'll have one more like this. Perfect. I think what I'm also going to do with these, let's just get rid of that visibility. I'm going to scale these all up to about 1.5. So let's just select them. So there you go, I've got 5 of them. And then the scale, I've just locked this here to make sure that it scales uniformly. I'm going to go 1.5. And that will just make these easy to see, because we're not going to see this particular version until the player is further away. So we want the fires just to be bigger so they're easier to see. Okay, well, we've got the damaged ship visible. We're also going to add one more particle effect, another cascade particle effect, and that's going to be for an explosion, so we can see this actually explode. So I'm just going to select the ship damaged, add cascade, and I'm going to call this one explosion. And then there is another template in here for explosion. There it is, particle explosion. And you can see it's right here. It's a little bit small, so we need to make this quite a lot bigger. I think I'm going to make it 10. Yeah, that's better. And I'm just going to move it up so that it's visible. I'm going to put it a little bit above where the ship is. You can see that whenever I move it, that triggers it to start again, so I can get a good idea of where it's going to be. So I think that looks good, just there. And you can see that is also a child of ship damaged, so that's all good. Okay, now this is not the one that we want to have visible by default, so we're going to get ship damaged and all of its children and set the visibility to off for these. And then we're going to go back to the original ship and all of its fires. I'm going to turn the visibility back on. Excellent. Okay, so now that we've got all the meshes and effects in, we need to set up the logic. So let's move over to the event graph. And we're going to create a custom event. So I can get rid of those 3. I'm going to create a new custom event. And I'm going to call it explode. Now we only want this explosion to be able to happen once. So we're going to also create a Boolean variable that will flick from false to true whenever this gets triggered. So by default, it's going to be, has this exploded? No. When it does explode, it'll go to true, and that will stop it from being able to happen again. So let's go to variables, click on plus. So I'm going to call it exploded with a question mark, exploded. And then I'm going to compile and just make sure that I can set this variable to false by default, which it is. Brilliant. Okay, so from our custom event, we're going to create a branch. And the condition for this branch is going to be exploded. There we go. And what we do next is only going to happen on false. So what we're going to do is set the visibility of ship. So let's go to set visibility. Like so. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Go from false. Oh, I missed. Go from false. And the thing that's going to make sure that it happens to the ship and all of the fires is we're going to make sure we propagate to children. Like that. So what's going to happen so far is if it hasn't exploded yet, we are going to set the visibility of the ship and all of its children to off. So all of these disappear. And then after that, we're going to get our ship damaged. We're going to set the visibility of this. And we're going to propagate to children again, and we're going to make that one true. So I didn't change the visibility here because I wanted it to become false, and here I'm going to make it true, so they're now going to swap. And then the final thing we'll do to stop this from happening again is get our exploded variable, and we're going to set it to true. And that will mean that if it tries to happen again, that will go up to there to true, and nothing will happen. We do also need to get the explosion to happen, though, to make sure it happens. So let's get the explosion. And we need an activate. So we'll drag out of there and we'll create an activate. That's going to make the explosion go. So I've actually just changed my mind. I want to put these in a different order. So let's just put that one there. I want to set the variable at the end. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now what we can do is compile and save. And that blueprint should be ready to go. But there's nothing that will actually trigger this to happen yet. So we need to create the conditions to make this happen. So we're going to go back to our landscape level. Here it is. And we're going to add a trigger box to this level. So here's our plus. I'm just going to start typing trigger. And there's trigger box. And I'm just going to drag and just place one roughly over here. Then I'll press F on my keyboard just to get near to it. And what I need to do is make sure that I can see what I'm doing. I need to make it much wider, because we need to make sure the player can't get past without hitting it. And I'm just going to make it a bit taller as well, so the player can't somehow get over it, like that. And I'm just going to rotate it like that and place it here. So you can see that that's going to create like an invisible wall that goes all the way across here that the player can't get past, so that will cause this explosion to be triggered. Okay, we're going to go into the level blueprint now, but we need to make sure that we still have this box trigger selected. Otherwise, it'll make it more difficult. So with that selected, I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to go to Open Level Blueprint. Okay, you can see there's our begin play logic that we set up earlier. So underneath that, we're going to right click, and we're going to add an actor begin overlap. There we go. So that's now what we need to do. And you can see that that is already doing the trigger box. That's in brackets. And that's because we had that selected before we did this. Okay, so what we need to do is make sure that the other actor is blip. So we're going to cast to blip character. And then if that's the case, if we're using blip, we're going to get actor of class. And then you'll see here, we get a drop down. And I can search for crashed ship. And that's what we're looking for. And then the return value of that, we're going to do the explode custom event. So just to recap, when we begin overlap with the trigger box, check that it's the player that's doing it, get the crashed ship, do the explode. Amazing. Okay, so we can now compile and save that. So we've now got all the logic set up that we should need. So the only thing that we need to do now is put the blueprint in the level. So at the moment this won't work because when we run past that, the ship can't explode because it's still the original static mesh and we need to swap that out for the blueprint that we created. So let's go back here. And what I'm going to do is first of all, just get rid of all the fires. So what I'm going to do is get all of my blueprint effect fire that's attached to the ship. So that should be the first one. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that I only get those and not the ones that are down here, because I need to keep those. So not that one. So it's just going to be the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll delete them. And I just want to keep the ship in place for now. And what I'm going to do is go into my blueprints, add the crashed ship, it can go there. And I'm deliberately putting it somewhere else for now because I want this to go here. And I need to get the exact values to make sure it's a good fit. I'm going to copy and paste them over basically. So there's my drop ship and there's my crash ship. So I can swap between them quite easily. So I'm going to start with the rotation. So there is my X. I'm going to Control and C for copy. Then on my crashed ship, I'll paste that in. And then back to this one. Let's copy that. And then paste. And you'll see this is now starting to do its thing. And then the last one is here. And we'll paste that onto there. And you can see they now look pretty similar. And then we're going to go get their location. So copy the first one and paste. Copy the second one and paste. And you can see we're nearly there now. Just need to copy the third one. And they were pretty close already. Nice, so that's in place, and then I can just delete the original dropship. And I've just done a like-for-like swap, except now everything is a part of that. Okay, the only thing to do now is to give it a test and hope it works. So let's click on play. Okay, so I'm going to jump down. And then just need to make sure that I can see the ship. And as I get far enough away, that's going to explode. There it is. Perfect. So there's no sound yet because we're going to cover sound in a later chapter. We will add an explosion sound effect there. And there's also going to be some audio that tells Blip, tells the player they need to get away from there quickly before it explodes. So it's going to feel like there's a lot more jeopardy. In reality, it's not going to explode until the player hits this anyway, but it will feel like it was urgent, hopefully. Okay, so that's it for this step. The next step is going to be quite a long and complicated one. We're going to create and set up a teleporter. There's going to be a lot going on there. We're going to have a teleporter. We're going to create some extra blueprints that need to be collected. And then when they're collected, the teleporter can be activated and we can beam off the planet to get back to wherever we should be. So that's good, isn't it? Then the escape will be complete. So I will see you in the next step for that one. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. If you'd like to help me create more content like this, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. The contributions I get through Patreon make a huge difference in keeping this channel going. Remember to like, comment and subscribe to make sure you don't miss my upcoming tutorials. Your support and engagement mean the world to me and help my channel continue to grow. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.